Hey friends, it's your pal SVH coming at you with today's Bowl of Saki by Hazrat Inayat Khan for May the 4th be with you. That's right, May the 4th be with you, folks. Rest of mind is as necessary as rest of body, and yet we always keep the former in action. Rest of mind is as necessary as rest of body, and yet we always keep the former in action. So yeah, this is really, again, kind of leaning on how this is really a great teaching for the modern era, right? Because we rarely ever give our mind a rest. We have so much stimulus, compared to what we had, what kids have today compared to what we had as kids, to stimulate the mind and always keep the mind going in a million directions. It's crazy, and we don't really give the mind a time to rest. And pretty much most of what I was going to say, Murshid's already said here in a little commentary, so I'll share a little commentary from Murshid here. We usually rest our body at will whenever circumstances allow us to. We recline on a couch or in an armchair after coming back from the office or work, and at night we rest and go to sleep. But when do we give the mind a rest? Rest for the mind is as necessary as rest for the body, and yet we always keep the mind in action. It is constantly at work, even if our body is resting. All this shows the great practical need for the mind to be at rest, for the mind to be stilled. Those who make it principle that work is always an advisable thing are one-sided. Balance lies in perceiving that work and rest are equally necessary for good health. Both physical and mental. The work of the body is sometimes kept under a man's control, but he does not keep the work of the mind under his control. This is not because he cannot do so, it is because he never thinks about it. So, sometimes the deepest spiritual teachings or lessons in life are right in front of us, and it just takes a moment to recognize it or perceive it, right? And if the mind is always racing and always going in other directions, then it's hard to leave an open capacity for the mind to receive reflection, for it to receive impulses and things like that. So that's one aspect of this. But the other aspect is that, for the body to be recharged and at rest, we see the necessity in that, right? But with the mind, we typically don't. We got to keep ourselves occupied. We got to have music going, or read a book, or watch TV, or watch YouTube, or watch YouTube Shorts, or look at reels on Instagram, or talk to somebody on Facebook. And all of these kinds of things just continually keep occupying the mind with stuff, right? And it doesn't give the mind even a moment to kind of focus on really one thing. It goes from one thing to another, to another, to another. And having the ability to really just completely see things from the perspective of an open mind, an empty mind, allows the mind to receive more and understand more. You can tune into the universe more. You can really gather information much clearer when you have the rested mind, when your mind is at ease and you can really just kind of let whatever impressions come. That's when the real true connection to the divine really comes and happens in your life. So this is why we do meditation. This is why we do prayers and practices and chants and things to really get the mind focused and stilled and concentrated on either one point or one thing, to really learn how to train it and keep it from going a million directions. And I think it's a really important lesson, and something that we should consider more every day is giving the mind a little time to rest. So whether it's through evening meditation, morning meditation, give yourself a little time to rest the mind. Try to sit on a couch for just 5 minutes, or sit in a chair for 5 minutes, and just close your eyes and not visualize anything or focus on anything. Just try to push out any thought that comes, and just try to keep your mind blank. Even if you can do it for a few seconds, it's a very powerful skill to develop. The more you can still the mind and calm the mind and have the mind be empty and of anything and void of anything, that really is a great power. And if you can do it for a second, that's a great skill. If you can do it for 5 seconds, that's like extremely great. Anything beyond that, you're really getting into a level of mastery, because you're starting to really train the mind to really just empty itself and to be a clear channel for whatever might come through. So yeah, just a couple thoughts on today's bowl of sake. I think it's a really good one. So give your mind a rest after you've contemplated this and thought about it for a little while. Give your mind a rest, and just make note of that each day, that you make a little time for the mind, right? So there you have it, friends. Hope you enjoyed today's bowl of sake. Happy May the 4th be with you, and we'll see you later. Nanu nanu.